today's news, no charges have been laid to date for the shooting death of Jamiez Stoutt. Police reviewing CCTV footage and conducting interviews as investigations continue.
Frustrated tourists struggle to maneuver through a busy road town due to lack of sidewalk facilities, inefficient for persons with disabilities. The Honorable Minister for Transportation and Works says it's a matter of priority.
And the BVI received approximately 7,000 COVID-19 vaccines comprising of the Pfizer and AstraZeneca versions. Vaccination rollout for the Pfizer commenced from today.
Attorney and former legislator Myron Walwyn calls for much stronger leadership, and I quote, regarding the human rights of employees, rallies support for the cable and wireless employees and others impacted by vaccine mandates.
And the BVI-Asia Abroad Scholarship Programme already grabbing interest of locals with approximately 20 submissions in less than a month.
The one and only Jalil Cameron joins us live to discuss the Children's Holiday Giveaway, which takes place tomorrow, Saturday. We have all the details of this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. Viewers, you're watching 284 News.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Friday, December 17th, 2021. A fantastic Friday to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes. Viewers, we start today's newscast with an update from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force on the territory's latest recorded murder. Well, so far, no one has been charged for the shooting death of Jamiez Stoutt, who was fatally shot while in Crystal's nightclub in Freebottom last Saturday. However, police say investigations continue as they review CCTV footage, and interview various witnesses. Well, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, in a media release released on Thursday, December 16th, assured the public that investigations continue to move forward despite no charges made to date. Well, lead investigator Detective Inspector Jomo Short says while no one has yet been charged, several lines of inquiry are actively being followed at this time. Therefore, investigation to the public must be limited. He said, and I quote, "We have committed a number of our detectives to making sure that the evidence is solid against the individual or individuals responsible for Jamiez Stout's death and to ensure that justice is served. Therefore, information released to the public must be restricted at the moment," end quote. Well, detectives are still asking those who witnessed the events at the nightclubs last Saturday morning or have information helpful in this investigation to share this information by contacting the Major Crime Team directly at 368-5682.
Kamal, quite a bit of troubling events as we look at the facts of this situation. Not only did this incident happen in a very crowded nightclub, however, to this date, as we mentioned, no arrests have been made. There are a couple problems with this situation. You're talking about reviewing CCTV footage, and that's fine and all good, but there have been multiple witnesses to this incident, and while we understand the importance of limiting information to the general public and even the media, it is important that I think authorities, which I'm hoping they know, that arrest and the presence of whatever is to take place should be done so in as quick time as possible. One of the problems that we've been having in this territory is, one, interference of witnesses, two, persons fleeing the territory while they might have been investigated and suspected of being an incident. I don't think that this is a case that we could continue, and we want this to be the verdict. I'm employing the members of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. I know you're doing your job, and I know you're keeping information from the public deliberately, as well as the media, but you cannot convince me that in a crowded nightclub you cannot make an arrest. Secondly, you cannot convince me as a resident of this territory that this business should have still been allowed to be open. These measures are unacceptable, and while we're out there making a lot of arrests, I think for different aspects, we need to make this situation a public example. It cannot continue.
And may I add to Ron, it also boils down to those who are willing to come forward, because we've seen
Agreed.
instances in the past where it's such a small society as the BVI. A lot of persons are hesitant.
And that's one of our biggest problems.
And that is the problem that probably needs to be addressed, because we have seen the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force within the past few months, bringing a lot of persons to account for a lot of murders, especially ones that would have gone unsolved for a long period of time. And I must commend them also from the fact of actually, making some progress with these investigations with the limited resources, along with the limited information available to them. Because when there's always more than one side to the story.
Of course.
I'm sure that obviously the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force would love to have someone in custody to be able to account for the death of Jamiez, obviously. But I'm sure there are some information that we may not be, we may not have access to that particular information, which may be hindering ongoing investigations. So while I do understand your point, I do understand that there may be another, end to this story, whereas, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is probably doing all they can at this present point, with the resources they have. But it's all about persons coming forward. If you are a friend of Jamiez, if you were there in the nightclub, come forward and present the information to the police so investigations could continue, where someone could be brought to justice.
Agreed. Continuing on the local scene, yesterday, tourists visiting Rotown Tortola had an extremely visibly frustrating and difficult time maneuvering through the busy capital due to insufficient sidewalks suitable for disabled pedestrians. Now, multiple videos sent to our newsroom, which you're going to be seeing shortly, show a local athlete, Mr. Franklin Penn, getting out of his vehicle and assisting a visiting couple after seeing their utter frustration while trying to maneuver through the town. Once he got the tourists off the sidewalk, Penn then allowed them to go in front of his vehicle and follow them as they returned on the main road to the Cyril B. Rumney Tortola Pier Park. Now, the inclement weather that we've been experiencing did not add to the situation. In an invited comment, Penn said, and I quote, "I had to help. They looked so frustrated and disappointed." In an additional invited comment, we reached out to the Minister of Transportation and Works, the Honorable Kai Reimer, as well as the District 5 representative, and he said, and I quote, "As a matter of priority and safety for all our pedestrians, the team at the Public Works Department has been working on a comprehensive review of the sidewalks in the Rotown area. The result will yield a strategy to remedy any area that needs to be addressed for safety and accessibility." Now, over the years, residents have taken to social media and local radio programming, really pleading for better road infrastructure and, moreover, mechanisms such as proper sidewalks, which will cater to locals. I want to add this, not only tourists, but locals and visitors with disabilities alike. The issue is not one specific to the BVI. However, residents are pleading for the matter to be addressed urgently. In addition to that, I'd like to highlight that not only are sidewalks not suitable for persons with disabilities, but a lot of our public buildings are not also accessible and making way for persons with disabilities or in a wheelchair. Now, since taking office, viewers, Minister Reimer has sought to redevelop the Rotown area, specifically with a rerouting of traffic in an effort to minimize traffic congestion. The studies of that are still to be shared on whether it has been made a difference or not. This week in general. Yesterday, the BVI saw 2 ships in harbor. The day before, they saw 4 ships in general, with 3 being in the BVI harbor and 1 on Virgin Gorda. That day actually was the second day that 3 ships were docked in the Tortola harbor. Now, with tourism understanding being one of the said economic pillars of the BVI, and industry partners continuing to do their best to reignite the industry, matters such as this need to be addressed, and quickly. In the meantime, motorists are kindly asked to be aware of the traffic, pedestrians, tourists, and exercise patience with tourists as they traverse through the capital of Rotown.
Ron, that video would have garnered somewhat
Absolutely.
More than 8,000 viewers who would have commented, more than 300 reactions on social media with persons obviously, calling, basically stating that was a problem. That is a problem in the territory with...
Has been, yeah.
And basically calling for the authorities, the relevant authorities, to do what's needed to have that issue resolved as soon as possible. Well, viewers, up next, the BVI received approximately 7,000 COVID-19 vaccines comprising of the Pfizer and AstraZeneca versions. And vaccination rollout for the Pfizer commenced from today. And attorney and former legislator Myron Walwyn calls for a much stronger leadership regarding the human rights of employees, and he rallies support for cable and wireless employees and others impacted by vaccine. But these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, the British Virgin Islands recently received approximately 7,000 COVID-19 vaccines from the United Kingdom government, which consisted of the Pfizer and AstraZeneca versions of the vaccine. Well, this was confirmed during a media conference which was held yesterday, Thursday, December 16th, where Minister for Health, Carvin Malone, revealed that the territory received some 4,680 doses of the Pfizer vaccines and 2,000 doses of the AstraZeneca version. Malone said by having the capacity to now store and administer the Pfizer type of the COVID-19 vaccine, it provides the BVI with an extra layer of resources needed to effectively combat the COVID-19 virus.
Another shipment of vaccines from the United Kingdom. Finally, after months of planning and putting systems in place, we now have the capacity to house the Pfizer vaccine. Thanks to the United Kingdom, we received 4,680 doses of Pfizer and 2,000 doses of AstraZeneca to strengthen our immune program, or immunization program. This is a very pivotal moment for us in this fight against COVID-19 because now we get to add another layer to our resources. We are now in a position to offer boosters and third doses of AstraZeneca vaccine. Throughout this pandemic, I have been very clear on my stance on promoting vaccination because it is our best offense against COVID-19.
Well, Minister Malone also said that by having the Pfizer vaccine, it will help to target critical categories of the population, such as children under 18 years of age that previously had to travel in the neighboring United States Virgin Islands to gain access to this version of the vaccine.
It pleases my heart to know that we are now in a position to continue to arm our community with the necessary tools to aid them in this long battle of COVID-19, including that critical age of adolescents and teenagers who have not been able to access the vaccines who have only been able to access the vaccine with the US BVI initiative that was put in place. I encourage everyone to take advantage of this opportunity that many of our Caribbean brothers and sisters, they do not have such opportunities.
Well, meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges said that the administering of the vaccines will be completed along phases, which consist of various priority groups. Well, he said these priority groups include the elderly, with persons over 65 years of age, children between the ages of 12 to 18, persons who are immunocompromised, healthcare workers, and frontline workers.
So from the 17th, we're hoping to have healthcare workers begin to get their vaccination. So those will be healthcare workers both in the public and private sector, and the BVI Health Services Authority will contact the workers directly and organize for them to begin their vaccinations at the HSA. Phase 2, which we hope to start next week, around the 20th of December, will include our frontline workers. So those are the same groups that we had under AstraZeneca. So those would be police officers, firemen, immigration and customs officers, the officers at the ports, the BVI Airports Authority and the BVI Seaports. Also, the VISA, the Virgin Islands Search and Rescue, will also be included in that group, and they will begin to have their vaccinations as early as next week. During the course of next week as well, we will be vaccinating residents of the Adina Donovan Home, the Virgin Gorda Elderly Home, and dialysis patients will also be scheduled to have their vaccinations. The physicians will also be identifying patients who are immunocompromised and beginning to offer them vaccines. We're hoping later next week to bring the private sector on board. So we'll be conducting some additional training with them this week into next week to begin having them have the Pfizer vaccine available in their practices. So that will be hopefully from late next week moving on. Once we have completed that process, we will hope to then have the Pfizer vaccine available to all residents. So our schedule for that is really the beginning of January, but we will play it by ear depending on the uptake and how the vaccines are rolled out.
Well, viewers, also commenting on the initiative was Governor John Rankin, who said that he, along with the United Kingdom government, have been committed from the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic to providing the BVI with the necessary resources to help combat the COVID-19 virus.
Yesterday was the 7th delivery of AstraZeneca vaccines to the territory. And I'm glad that now just over 60% of the adult population has had a single vaccine of AstraZeneca, and just over 56% of the population has been double vaccinated. And the further supply of AstraZeneca will allow that vaccination programme to continue. And I urge everyone who hasn't yet been vaccinated in the adult population to please come and get your first or second dose of AstraZeneca. But the other big news from yesterday is that we were able to deliver the first doses of the Pfizer vaccine to the BVI. And that was made possible because the government has been able to procure the freezer, which can keep Pfizer at the necessary very low temperatures for the vaccine to be able to be used properly and safely within the territory.
Well, viewers, that was the Governor of the Virgin Islands, His Excellency John Rankin. Ron, a very great initiative to see that the territory finally have access to the Pfizer vaccine. Basically, being able to inoculate a number of those vulnerable age groups that were previously unable to do so because of the access to strictly AstraZeneca here in the territory. Now, you no longer have to pay monies to go overseas or even to the sister islands, basically, to get this vaccination where they can do it here now in the territory.
Kamal, I do hope that residents of the BVI take advantage of this because they have been asking for at least one of the major concerns as it pertains to the COVID-19 vaccine have been to have options. Here we have an additional option which really lends itself to a certain demographic. Viewers, continuing on the local scene, making reference to a local news article in which the leader of government business, the Honorable Andrew Foy, said he was not being cowardly regarding allowing employers free rein to implement their own vaccination policy. Local attorney Myron Walwyn has lent his voice to the cause. Listen in.
Much stronger leadership needs to be shown on the issue of mandatory vaccinations being imposed in the private sector. In the absence of the Human Rights Commission, trade unions, an Equal Opportunity Act and the like, the government has to step up to the plate to deal with this issue. Both the vaccinated and unvaccinated voted. Both groups deserve representation. We cannot leave this matter to the arbitrary actions of employers. This is not the right approach. We cannot leave our citizens out there without any form of representation. This is just not right.
Now, viewers, making reference to the most recent example of employers versus employees, where Cable and Wireless, also known as Flow, and some of its employees have seemingly reached a crossroad on the issue of vaccination. Walwyn had earlier said, and I quote, "I have long held the view that there are many other things that are important to creating a good quality of life for citizens other than money, building the necessary institutions in a country that can provide redress for citizens who believe that their rights have been abandoned is extremely important. At present, some citizens are facing a very difficult time with the issue of mandatory vaccinations and their job security. Where do these citizens go for redress? The issue may be mandatory vaccinations today, but some of the issues, he said, may be tomorrow. Please, he said, completely put aside your views on the issue of vaccination. My point goes beyond that. Now, in addition, he joined in on the conversation and said, regarding Human Rights Commission, the Human Rights Commission bill was brought to the House of Assembly by the Attorney General about 3 times over the last decade, and it failed to even make it to the committee stage of the House. Persons facing human rights breaches, whether mandatory vaccination or otherwise, would have been able to get assistance, guidance, and support from the Human Rights Commission. He continued, I did some digging and found that the last sitting of the House of Assembly on this issue in October of 2018, it has been 3 years now since then, and nothing has happened. Listen, he said, and employed persons to listen to the contributions made on this matter. Now, some of the points raised by some of the leaders, he said, were reasonable, but I cannot say, he continued, the same for others. It is high time that the Human Rights Commission is put in place. It is important for investigating, promoting, and protecting human rights of all living within the Virgin Islands. Viewers, we're going to continue to keep you posted as the conversation continues. But up next, the BVI-Asia Abroad Scholarship is doing remarkable things. Of course, Kamal sat down with Miss Wheatley, which we have available on our website. But I'm also joined by the one and only Jalil Cameron as he joins us live to discuss the children's holiday giveaway, which his foundation is hosting tomorrow. All this and so much more after word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Vojingara, Jackson Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Viewers, welcome back. As promised, I'm joined by Jalil Cameron. Jalil, welcome back to 284 News.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Absolutely. Now, tomorrow, December 18th, your foundation is hosting yet another remarkable event. This year, your foundation has done a number of initiatives really contributing to the fiber of our community and persons in need. Tell us about the holiday giveaway, gift giveaway for children that will be taking place tomorrow.
So tomorrow, Saturday, the 18th of December, we'll be having a gift giveaway up at Frozen Imports on the eastern side of the island. Frozen Imports is having a sale starting today, tomorrow, and I believe on Sunday. So low prices. Parents, please bring out your kids so that we can put some smiles on their faces this holiday season. And please come out and do your shopping. Once you do your shopping, you'll be able to write your name and your phone number on a receipt and put it into a box for a raffle in order to win bigger prizes for your kids. My main goal tomorrow is really just to see happy children this Christmas season. So that's what's going on tomorrow. And a big shout out to our sponsor, Frozen Imports, especially Mr. Ali Chalwan and the whole team up there at Frozen Imports. I want to thank them so much for making this possible and partnering with us.
Beautiful. Now, I'm not sure if we mentioned, but can you reiterate for us the times that persons can come?
9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Frozen Imports.
Wonderful. Jalil, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, on the eastern side of the island, next to Right Way in Easton.
All right. Now, as I mentioned before, your organization has done a number of activities, nonprofit activities this year in general, contributing and giving back to the BVI. It's been a tough year, of course, the tough of the past few years with COVID really impacting us. How were you able to still host so many events and contribute back to the community? How was your foundation able to steer the course and keep it running?
I would just say that, you mentioned, with everything that's going on, COVID, I think that, it really, not play on words, but it shows that my foundation has a very strong foundation to walk off of, and really now is the time where organizations like mine are supposed to thrive and really help out the community. So I would just say how we were able to stay strong in times like these. Always the community. I spoke on what the community meant to me on my last interview here, and my team. So yeah, I just think the community and my team have been the biggest contributors to making sure that my foundation was able to thrive in these challenging times.
I agree with you. Now, persons who are viewing Jalil, how can they get in contact with your foundation, whether they want to be a sponsor or even in this present time, if they want to contribute toys for children, how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, so I'll give a number. This is for my grandmother, a main contact in the foundation, 543-7326. I say again, 543-7326.
Wonderful. Viewers, I want to encourage you and implore you to support the Jalil Cameron Foundation, one of the thriving nonprofit organizations in our community. And tomorrow, as he mentioned, will be the holiday toy giveaway. In addition to that, of course, persons can come to Frozen Imports in the East End area. And there are a lot of things going on. There's going to be a raffle, but most importantly, the Jalil Cameron Foundation is affording kids throughout that area and across the territory an opportunity to enjoy the Christmas season while receiving much needed gifts. We have a lot going on this weekend. Of course, the Jalil Cameron Foundation. We also want to, as you know, CCT is a proud sponsor of the event that is Soca on the Bay, which is going to be taking place Saturday evening. If you have not gotten your tickets yet, you can still do so by visiting our CCT store. In addition to that, tickets are also available at Hazim's and Coconut Lounge. CCT is continuing its 12 Days of Christmas initiative. You also have the opportunity to be a part of that. Many persons have been winning all week, and you have an idea and an option as well to win. All you have to do is pay up and pay on time at any of our CCT stores, and you will be eligible to indulge and enjoy our 12 Days of Christmas. We have everything from phone giveaways, cash giveaways. We have someone won $1,000 last night. There's a staycation, lots of prizes, compliments of CCT. This year alone, with the Christmas season, we have given some $50,000 away, and you can be a part of that. So we implore you and encourage you to be a part of that. It is the end of our newscast, viewers. We encourage you to stick and stay and enjoy all the content that we have available for you.
And before we go, we just touched on the 12 Days of Christmas. I actually have my phone in my hand, just looking at some of the prizes that CCT would have given away thus far. You would have seen on the 13th where a staycation and a dinner for two. On the 14th, which was Tuesday, CCT Live Gold giveaway and 3 months of service, and that person would have won also $1,000. On the 15th was a Samsung Ultra 20 S20 Ultra for those persons who love the best version of a mobile device, which is Samsung. That person would have been very lucky, and they would have also had access to the Freedom Package, which is the gold service. And also on the 16th, which was yesterday, a lucky person was able to win a Samsung Galaxy Buds. I think that person would have won the Galaxy Beats by Dre headphones, and would have had an option to win $1,000 as well. And today is the iPhone 13 that is being given away. And I'm sure I would love to win it. I would, but I can't because I'm obviously a member of staff. But they have the iPhone 13 and 3 months Freedom Service of Gold package being given away. And tomorrow, over the weekend, $400 grocery vouchers and a chance to win a ticket to the Soca concert tomorrow, which CCT is sponsoring. Yes. And also $1,000 will be given away tomorrow. But lots of prizes, as my colleague would have said, are being given away up until the 24th of this month. And the big giveaway is the 24th, up to $5,000 to be won from that lucky person. So viewers, so much going on this Christmas in the BVI, so much from CCT in terms of persons being able to have that option to, make a family smile. CCT is doing that to allow persons, to be able to, gain access to the many channels on the CCT Live. You know, there's so many channels for those who like to watch basketball and other sports and stuff, such as myself. So much for those who like to watch movies, etc. as well. So much to win just by topping up, paying a bill on time or signing up basically, and you are guaranteed to win. But viewers, that's all we have for today's newscast. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We will see you on Monday, and of course we'll see you over the weekend because there is a lot happening. Have a good weekend. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.